In our package tonight, Akbc State to uphold zoning principle in forthcoming local government elections. Dawn advocates protest as drive to positive change development. Fuel subsidy, World Bank seeks utilization of savings as its palliatives. And retired DIG Udomekbu Udom rewards political loyalists with drugstore. Details shortly. A very good evening to you and welcome to Akbc 45 News. I am Eyagenopo. Aspirants warming up for chairmanship and councillorship positions in the forthcoming local government elections in Akbc State have been informed that the zoning principle will be upheld in the different local government areas and wards. Speaking at a social event over the weekend, which had in attendance a large fellowship of local government chairmen, Governor Moino said the clarification became necessary to restrain the aspirant from frivolous spending. Our Government House reporter Udwarekong has the details.
Emphasizing that the whistle for the next local government elections is yet to be blown, Pastor Moino advised aspirants and stakeholders in the local government areas to put their intentions on hold until clarifications are received from the electoral umpire.
I'm hearing that people have already started consultation for chairmanship. Please don't spend your money. I will not pay anybody for association of attempted consultants for chairmanship because I know the pressure group say we are going to spend money. They form the pressure group. They should reform. I've not sent you to spend money. Please wait and wait and wait. We are trying to ensure that government takes shape and we're doing the best we can. More than what then government take position. A book out from pressure groups from Association of Attempted Chairmen. We will not listen to you. And we have not blown the whistle yet for local government elections. So I'm advising Mumbo is to be money he made to save the money.
The governor, who said he would not go against existing zoning arrangements, insisted that the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, would not compensate any individual or groups engaged in consultations for positions not zoned to their wards.
If zoning you favor okay, don't even try it. I will not support anyone. I've never 1 year they are zoning formula, and we all know it. So we may not be on them, but we can. But I'm on pressure same amount. I will not go against zoning. Let us know that.
On the skirmishes in some places occasioned by the mapping exercise, which is in court, Pastor Eno called on local government chairmen as chief security officers to ensure the maintenance of peace and order.
I know that some local governments have gone to court. Naturally, when a case is in court, you maintain peace. Nobody is coming to take your land or do anything. We will wait for all the fireworks to be done in the court. So please, there is no need whatsoever for anyone to encourage, and we are aware. We have security report that some local government chairmen are encouraging and trying to hide behind to create. Once that happens, please, we will bring the full weight of the law. Let local government chairmen hear me clearly. Clearly, I will not surrender my mandate as the governor of this state to anyone. And we like to work in peace, we like to show that we are peaceful people, but at the same time we will react when we have to. And this is not a threat. As the local government chairman of any local government, we will hold that local government chairman responsible for any breakdown of law and order in his domain.
Udwarekong, Akbc News.
The state governor, Pastor Moino, has presented food items and cash to the Muslim community in the 36 local government areas of the state in the spirit of 2023 Eid al-Kabir celebration. Governor Ino, who hosted members of Arewa Muslim community today at PDP Secretariat with Housing Uyo, told them that the presentation was meant to strengthen the bond of peace, love, and stability in the country. A government house reporter, Utri Makon, who witnessed the presentation, reports that the governor was accompanied by the secretary to the state government, Dr. Emmanuel Ekuem, and special assistant to the governor on religious matters, Pastor Inema Omo, among others.
Presenting the items comprising bags of rice, cows, ram, and cash donations, the Deputy Governor, Senator Konowaran, who represented Governor Moino, extended the governor's warmest facilitations to the Muslim community in the state on this year's Eid al-Kabir.
Today, I came on behalf of the government of Akwa Ibom State to do the presentation of the items for the celebration. You take this to the people, Allah will make it multiply, and as they take it, it will be very useful, nourishing in their body.
Senator Yaranyi appreciated the Muslim community for supporting the Umoino's late administration, saying that his Arise agenda will embrace every facet of life. Governor Ino enjoined the Muslim community to remember the significance of the celebration, which is sacrifice, obedience, and love. He advised them to uphold the guiding spirit and philosophy behind the celebration so as to woo more investors and development to the state.
The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Mo Eno, understands the value of the feast of sacrifice for the Muslims. We want to congratulate you for going through this season successfully and wishes you happy celebration for today and tomorrow. He also said I should ask you, as you pray, that you should continue to pray for Akwa Ibom State, Akwa Ibom community. They are known as a peaceful state, a peaceful people. They accept visitors, they take them as their own. That's why, for the number of years you've been here in Akwa Ibom State, you've had a peaceful coexistence.
The chairman of Arewa Community, Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Emmanuel Obole, expressed delight at Governor Omoina's gesture and commended him for his love to the Muslim community. He said his move to identify with them goes a long way to enhance national integration and unity, commending the governor for establishing a peaceful atmosphere for all residents of the state, irrespective of religious beliefs, tribe, and political affiliations.
This has been a regular routine most of the times of celebration. The immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State, Dike Ugdom Gabriel Emmanuel, he has been doing this on a regular basis. It's carried us along. We have felt that sense of belonging, and we want to most specifically thank Akwa Ibom State and its people for the peaceful atmosphere that we have enjoyed thus far through the able leadership of His Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency, and we wish that God will give you the grace, the will, and the way to pilot the affairs of the state to its desired destination. Our promise here this day is to ensure that we partner with you, whichever way we can, to maintain the peace and to see to the growth and development of Akwa Ibom State.
The youth leader of Arewa Community, Al-Haji Ibrahim Iliya, eulogized the governor for giving them a sense of belonging to share in love and oneness.
I thank him so much. May God bless Pastor Umo, bless the family, and also God bless the Akwa Ibom State, and also God bless the Nigeria.
We apologize for the mix-up in that report. The secretary to the state government is Prince Inobonwa. An academic professor, Emmanuel Owedweke, has advocated the use of protest as a tool to drive positive change and development in the country. He was speaking at the 5th annual birthday lecture in honor of the former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Okban Hoganekbo. Professor Owedweke, however, called for checks against negative consequences of protest. The report.
Speaking on protest matter, the effects of protests on economic redistribution. Professor of Economics and lecturer at University of Uyo mentioned reasons for protests to include political oppression, insecurity, economic needs, and marginalization. Also spoke of effects of protest if not handled properly.
Protest is as old as human beings, right from the beginning when humanity started, protest started. Because deprivation, inequality, marginalization have been part of creation, have been part of what human beings have gone through. So protest is as old as human beings. Essentially, protests have been the driving force of everything that look like progress in the world. So if you want to achieve anything, if you expect to get anything, nobody will bring it to the platter of gold.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Yaudon Dayo, felicitated with Professor Akpan on his 69th birthday and conveyed the university's wishes to him.
I want to thank you for allowing God to use you to bless this university the way it has. And to thank your wife immensely for being a able wife, very supportive, both in prayers and then ensuring that something is done the way it should be done. So we appreciate you. Our prayer as management at University of Uyo is that God should continue to uphold you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. God should continue to favor you, to protect you, to strengthen you, amen, so you can continue to be useful to us in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Responding, Professor Hogan Ekpo and wife Njiri thanked God for blessing the celebrator with long life and good health. The university community, family, friends, and guests for honoring them. He also made a case for people to take personal decisions that will help create a better environment.
The motto of this center is knowledge for liberation. Philosophers, all of us here, they will continue to explain, interpret the world. What is fundamental is for us to change it positively for the benefit of humanity. Once again, my wife and I, entire family, we thank all of you for this kind gesture and pray that God will also honor you more than tenfold. God bless you all.
Goodwill messages were received from Governor Umoino, represented by Dr. Charles Udo, a former governor of the state, Obon Victor Ta, and Okuibomi Bibio, Ntenyen Solomon Etu, who were represented at the event.
And so His Excellency has asked me to say that he identifies with this project. He's asked me to look around and then give me a report. What is done, what needs to be done, and when it will be done. Rest assured that Akwa Ibom is safe, Akwa Ibom will be sound, and welcome to the golden era, and the happy hour will be beginning now. Thank you very much.
The birthday celebration, which was chaired by Ambassador Asamasam, took place at the Professor Akpan Organ Ekpo's Center for Public Policy, Main Campus, University of Uyo.
The Chairman Board of Governors, Tower of Ivory Schools, retired DIG of Police, Udome Ekpo has donated a chemist store with drugs to a chemist, Ubong Fidelis Oko. The store, worth ₦1 million, according to the DIG Ekpo, was donated to compensate loyalty in politics and encourage Uko, a native of Afora back in our back local government area, for his support to him, APC, and the Senate President, Chief Godswill Akpabio. The reports.
Presenting the chemist store to the beneficiary, DIG Udome Ekpo thanked Ubong Oko for his role in the emergence of Senator Godswill Akpabio as a senator representing Ikot Senatorial District and the Senate President in the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. DIG Ekpo and wife Lady Dorothy said the chemist store is to ensure that Ubong has what to fall back on, provide for himself and his households, urging other party faithful to emulate Ubong Oko and know that there is reward for loyalty.
I wanted to contest as a senator. I had a lot of people supporting me. But as time went on, with mother came, Senator Roosevelt Fabio, we reconcile. I think all my supporters that they must support Roosevelt Fabio to wage.
We have come here as a parent of this young man. We please God that He open this shop for this young man, the youth leader, to sell and make progress. It is good to give somebody net to fish, and not only to give a person fish. We also pray, even if He gives people who come here water to drink, that through your Holy Spirit, His hands will be healing hands, that the person will receive healing in the mighty name of Jesus.
The APC chapter chairman in Abak, Mr. Gideon Edo, saluted the retired DIG of police for rewarding loyalty, describing the beneficiary as the right person for the reward.
So it's not all about politics. A few years politics is an additional addendum in someone's life that is a
The woman leader of the party in the area, Patience, called on other party faithful to show commitment and loyalty to the party and to work towards the development of Akwa Ibom State.
You need to give the Senate President as a Senator Godswill Akpabio. Even your fight
The beneficiary Ubonko thanked Mr. Ekpudom for such magnanimity, assuring him that the gesture will spur him to do more for the party and the state.
Special day. Then Amingi Yawagamoke renew hope. Tinigwagan and Nigerians then thank you. Generally the renew hope. I don't know because man was engaged the very day my boss called me, we interacted. Now I down there. Now I will go. Then I call you and one. Then no other way. Other than go and let them barely man with them and town. Barely with them
High point of the occasion was the dedication of the chemist store and prayers by Pastor Ekbamfon Momo Eyageno Paul Akbc News.
A non-governmental organization, Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta, in conjunction with Ford Foundation, has organized a one-day workshop for stakeholders from oil-bearing communities of Akwa Ibom to prepare them to take advantage of the soon-to-be implemented Petroleum Industry Act. The workshop, which held in Uyo, educated participants on the framework and nitty-gritty of the PIA Act and its expected benefits for the communities. Etienne Ibanga reports.
The workshop tagged Petroleum Industry Act Bridges Project Awareness Creation engaged stakeholders on dialogue where issues agitating their minds on the subject matter were deliberated. In a keynote address, the Advocacy Manager Partnership Initiative in the Niger Delta, Mr. Chuks Ofule, said the sensitization on the PIA requirements and its implementation process was to enable members of the host communities, development trust, and community stakeholders have better understanding and active participation in the process.
This awareness creation session will provide the host community trust members and community stakeholders with deep and better understanding of the Petroleum Industrial Act. It will ensure that each stakeholder fully comprehends their role in the host community development plan to achieve direct social and economic benefits for the host community, to enhance peaceful and harmonious coexistence between the settler and the communities, and to share sustainable development plan. Deploy optimal approach that will facilitate sustainable, pragmatic development in the communities. It also aims at restructuring host community management and PIA, and it mandates the creation of community development trust within the oil and gas operations described. Those that we create those trusts as the settlers.
Director, Executive Enterprise for Development International, Mr. Olukayode Soremekong, explained that the workshop was an avenue to clarify issues on the Petroleum Industry Act for oil-bearing communities representatives.
It is very important that we should note that until now, there's always been a relationship between the settlers, as the companies, and the communities. But now the law is saying, yes, you have a relationship, but we're going to be giving them money every year from the operational expense.
A representative from the State Ministry of Power and Petroleum Development, Engineer Manuel Yang, and some participants, including Mrs. Inyoba Okonko, bear their minds on the workshop.
We believe the advocacy should be even heightened more than this, so that at the implementation of the PIA in our host communities, there will be peace.
I thank God that the PIA has been signed to law. Sometimes the 3% that they used to give us, we will fight over it. There was no direction, there was no guideline. But this one is under law, and the law will always take its course.
Etienne Ibanga, Akbc News.
You're still watching Akbc 45 News. We'll take a short break, and when we return, World Bank calls for use of palliatives for fuel subsidy removal to reduce mass suffering. Please stay with us.
Momo better pass cash. Yes, oh! Momo don't begin turn people to millionaires, oh! Over 200 million naira they grant for everyone to win, no story. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say up to 12 people must become millionaires for the Momo Refer and Win promo. How? Just dial *671# to open Momo account to. Select option 6 to refer your family and friends them, your neighbor, tailor, your oga, mechanic, hairdresser, and plenty people where you sabi. After you don't refer them, make sure say them open Momo account to and use them recharge airtime or data at least 100 naira. Chicken, my people, as you just dial that code, you don't refer the person with that too. This promo go run from June 15 till August 9, 2023. You don't know the carry last, not do yourself. Momo better pass cash.
This is our home, where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's all man and we go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be. It's all man and no matter where we day, we are one. Let's live together in peace and harmony.
Momo better pass cash. Yes, oh! Momo don't begin turn people to millionaires, oh! Over 200 million naira they grant for everyone to win, no story. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say up to 12 people must become millionaires for the Momo Refer and Win promo. How? Just dial *671# to open Momo account to. Select option 6 to refer your family and friends them, your neighbor, tailor, your oga, mechanic, hairdresser, and plenty people where you sabi. After you don't refer them, make sure say them open Momo account to and use them recharge airtime or data at least 100 naira. Chicken, my people, as you just dial that code, you don't refer the person with that too. This promo go run from June 15 till August 9, 2023. You don't know the carry last, not do yourself. Momo better pass cash.
It's good to have you back. The University of Uyo has rescheduled its inaugural lecture in view of the public holidays declared by the federal government for Wednesday, June 28 and Thursday, June 29, 2023 to mark Eid el-Kabir. A statement signed by Registrar and Secretary to Senate, Mrs. Blossom Iyokore, indicates that the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Yaudon Dayo, has directed that the 91st inaugural lecture to be presented by Professor Effiong E. Akbeyong, Professor of French Translation Studies, Department of Foreign Languages, Faculty of Arts, earlier scheduled for Thursday, June 29, 2023, be rescheduled to Friday, June 30, 2023. Time is 3 p.m. at 1,000-seater capacity lecture theater, main campus of the university. The statement further requests guests to be seated by 2:45 p.m. and regret inconveniences the rescheduling could cause. The World Bank yesterday called on the federal government to relocate part of savings from fuel subsidy removal to reduce the suffering of Nigerians worsened by the negative impact of the policy. The call was made in its latest Nigeria Development Update (NDU). The World Bank noted that an additional 7.1 million Nigerians would be pushed into poverty, especially without measures to compensate for negative impact of fuel subsidy removal on the populace. It also said that with the petrol subsidy removal, the government is projected to achieve fiscal savings of approximately 2 trillion in 2023, equivalent to 0.9% of GDP. These savings, according to them, will reach over 11 trillion by the end of 2025. In another development, the World Bank has approved a fresh $500 million loan for Nigeria to help improve the livelihood of women. The scale-up financing will further support the government of Nigeria to invest in improving the livelihoods of women in Nigeria. Attention has been drawn to the circulation of forms purportedly issued by the Directorate of Agricultural Investment asking members of the public to pay certain amount of money in order to qualify for a 500,000 Naira grant allegedly authorized by the state government. According to the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Akbc Tv, the alleged fraud is handiwork of scammers, as the state government has not authorized such a program. Members of the public are hereby advised to ignore and discountenance the criminal act, as law enforcement agents are on the trail of the perpetrators of the scam. That's all we have for you tonight. But before we go, another look at the top stories. The state governor, Pastor Omoeno, has presented food items and cash to the Muslim community in the 36 local government areas of the state in the spirit of 2023 Eid el-Kabir celebration. Governor Eno, who hosted members of the Arewa Muslim community today at PDP Secretariat with Housing Uyo, told them that the presentation was made to strengthen the bond of peace, love and stability in the country. We also brought a report that academic professor Emmanuel Onwedweket has advocated the use of protest as a tool to drive positive change and development in the country. He was speaking at the 5th annual birthday lecture in honor of the former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Akbc. The World Bank yesterday called on the federal government to reallocate part of the savings from fuel subsidy removal to reduce the suffering of Nigerians worsened by the negative impact of the policy. That's a package. Many thanks for watching and have a blissful night's rest.